welcome to our YouTube channel and welcome back to the East Coast Keto Test Kitchen. I'm Bobbi.
And I'm Geoff.
And together we are East Coast Keto. We have a lovely recipe coming for you today. We have some traditional Newfoundland fish cakes.
Nom, nom, nom.
Well, I guess you could have them in Nova
You can have
Scotia
them anywhere,
or
really.
New Brunswick, but they're certainly a staple in Newfoundland. So for that, we're calling them the Newfoundland fish cake. So before that happens, we're going to ask you to hit that subscribe button down below.
And make sure you ring that bell so that you get notified when we have a new video available.
Perfect. Let's get going.
Come on, we go.
We're ready to go again, and Geoff is after abandoning me. He tells me right at the last minute that this is all me, so I guess here I am. Alright, so we're going to do Newfoundland fish cakes. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to turn on our trusty little induction burner. And if you are using a burner or a regular stove, you're going to go around medium heat. I'm working on around 300 here. And as you know, an induction burner, things happen pretty fast. So I'm going to put that butter in there and get that butter melted. The first thing we want to do is get our onions going. We want to cook the onions until they are translucent. So let's get this show on the road. So let's get our butter melted. I miss my buddy alongside of me today. I'm used to having him here. Alright, so we'll get the onions in there. Here we go. Make sure we got all them.
So now you get your buddy.
Hello! There he is.
So what are we doing?
We're doing some onions. We're making the onions translucent. And yes, I did wash my fingers, so we're good to go. There you go, sir. Thank you very much.
Hippity up.
Hippity up all the way to the birdie boiler.
I'll be your Bobbi chef.
You'll be my Bobbi chef. Alright, so we'll get our onions cooking, and I'm going under a 300-degree burner here now, or medium on your...
Medium,
yeah. So do you like fish cakes? Did you have a lot of fish cakes when you were little?
I did.
Yeah?
I like fish cakes.
Who made you fish cakes? Your mom or your nan? Or...
Geoff.
And I know in your household, you guys did a...
We had a lot of fish all the time.
But you had fresh fish.
Yes.
Now I know when I
because
do...
my dad worked at fisheries.
Exactly. So I know when we do fish and brews in our home, or when we did fish cakes, it was always salt fish.
Yeah.
But I remember when you and I got together, and the first couple of times we went to dinner at
We
your...
were going to do fish and brews, and...
It was fresh, and I was like... WTH? WTF? So...
WTAF.
So this can pretty much be your own preference, whether you like it fresh or salted.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you to pass me the pepper, because the recipe does call for pepper, but I usually like to put it in right at the beginning, and get those onions full of goodness and flavor.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm going to put in a little bit more than ordinary, just because I know the onions...
Your dad likes pepper.
Well, my dad likes pepper, yes, but I know it's not just the onions that we're flavoring. We're flavoring the onions, we're flavoring the cauliflower, we're flavoring the fish, so you want to put in a little bit more than extra. So there they are. They are starting to cook up quite lovely for us.
Yep.
And you just want to
So
cook
while
them...
they're simmering, do you want to...
Sure, if you want to. You want to cook these until they're translucent, so they're starting to get soft, and they don't have that thick white flavor. They're starting to get a little bit see-through. So yeah, by all means, you can still go ahead and start adding the ingredients over there for us.
So we got a cup of salt fish, which has been boiled.
Yep.
And drained.
And it's already been flaked, ready to go.
Chopped up, ready to go.
Yep.
Put that in there.
So that's boneless cod. Now you can use haddock or pollock or whatever, but...
I mean, if it wasn't the middle of March, we would have gone down to the wharf and
got it.
Been able to get some local, but this was available at our local Sobeys at the fish counter, and it's all good to go.
Perfect.
Right. And we got a cup of cauliflower.
Now the cauliflower has been boiled, has been chopped up really fine, and we also took it and put it in paper towels, and we took it and we squeezed all the water out of it, because you don't want it to be soggy and goopy. Now I'm going to get you to pass me the garlic. So the onion is starting to get translucent here. So we're going to add in the garlic. Yeah, there you go.
In they go.
Those fingers clean there, mister?
How many friggin' times have I had my hands in the sink today?
Lots of dishwashing. All right.
All right.
So there you go. So the garlic is in, and we're going to let that go while we continue to add in the rest of the ingredients.
All right, so we got the fish and the cauliflower, which we call coffee tables.
We do.
Eggs.
Yeah, so we're going to put 2 eggs in
2
there.
eggs.
Ooh. There's 1.
2. And what else?
There's
All the other ingredients?
There's nothing like the smell of
garlic and onions.
garlic and onions, I'll
And,
tell you.
and butter.
And butter. Okay, so what else do we have? We have
Almond flour.
4 tablespoons of
4
almond
tables.
flour.
We
We have the 2 large eggs that already went in. We have 2 tablespoons of Newfoundland savory. Now, if you're not in Newfoundland, you can use summer savory, you can use parsley, you can use whatever, thyme,
weed.
whatever you want. It's just here in Newfoundland, we're a little bit partial to the summer savory. We know it as Newfoundland savory.
And a tisp of pink Himalayan salt.
Perfect. Now, I'm going to turn off this here because we don't want that to burn too much. When it comes to the salt, it depends on your own taste and your own wants. I know we boil the fish a couple of times and there's not a lot of salt left in there. So we prefer to boil out that salt and use the pink Himalayan instead. So that's there and ready to go. What else you got there?
Chives?
Yep, so a handful of chives, and again, you know, this is more for garnish and a little bit of extra green.
Not even a handful, I'd call that
a palmful. And we usually use the fresh, but this time of year, we don't have access to that because it's winter out there.
It's winter and
so
it's all covered in stuff.
We use dried that we dry from our own garden. And the last thing that we need is we need to incorporate the onions and the garlic into the mixture, but this needs to cool a little bit. So,
I'll get my hands in there and mix this all up.
Perfect.
And we let that cool, and then we will mix it in.
So yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes time when we're ready to mix in the onions and the garlic, and I imagine Geoff is still going to have his hands into it. We'll talk to you in a second. Bye.
This is going to be hot.
Are you ready for the next stage?
Sure.
Okay, so we've got our onions and garlic here, and we are going to add those to the mixture that Geoff has already got mixed up. There we go. Perfect, and we're not going to wash out our pan. We're just
God, the smell.
We're just going to set that aside, and we're going to use that again to do up our onions. So we got all that mixed together.
Ooh, that's warm.
Yes.
Should probably use a spoon instead of hands.
No, your hands are tough. You're good to go. All right.
So.
Alrighty, we got that ready?
Yep.
So next thing we need to do is we need to form our fish cakes. Now, if you are not a fish person and you're used to meat cakes, you can use what we call corned beef in a can, or we used to call it bully beef when we were little.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So you can use that, or you can do it with anything. You can do it with lamb or chicken or pork or whatever. So yeah, let's go. Let's get those formed.
All right. So let's just grab a handful at a time.
Yep.
And hippity hop.
Is that how big?
Lay them in there.
Is that how big you're gonna make them?
Looks
All
big
right,
enough to me.
we are turning on our induction burner again, and this time I'm going to go to a 350 temperature, and Geoff is going to put those in. Now make sure you form them together good, because if not they're going to fall apart once you start cooking. And another thing worth mentioning is make sure you got all the water squeezed out of these guys before, or squeezed out of the cauliflower before you try to cook them, because if you don't, they're going to fall apart in the pan. So while Geoff continues to form those, we're going to stop the video, and what we'll do is we'll come in for a close-up so you can see what's happening in our pan here. We'll be back.
Alright, here we go.
They look like they're going to be absolutely yummy. So when it comes to the flavor, I know we've used 2 teaspoons of the savory. If that's too much for your liking, you can certainly tailor make the recipe, dial it back as you say, to suit your own taste. And we're going to leave that in there for maybe 3 to 4 minutes aside. And you know, you want it to crisp up a little bit. The fish and the cauliflower is really already cooked, as are the onions and the garlic. And at this stage of the game, we just want all the ingredients to come together. And exactly, we're just crisping them up and marrying them all together. So we'll be back in a minute when it's time to turn them over.
Looking good.
Looking good.
All right.
Oh my God, if you could smell what's happening here, it smells so good. Now remember, when you're turning these over, they're not going to have the starches that hold together old-fashioned pancakes or fish cakes. So you want to be very careful when you're flipping them over that they don't all fall to pieces. But look at that. How amazing does that look? And what I'm going to do once I get them turned over, I'm going to add a little bit of extra butter in there just to ramp up that ooey gooey fat that we all love.
And we like butter.
And we like butter. I'm going to turn the pan back just a little tiny bit because we've got the good heat going here now. And what we want to do is we just want to let them settle into the heat. We want them to cook and warm up on the inside, and we want those flavors to marry together. So we're going to turn the pan back and let the magic happen. But boy, they sure smell good. I can't wait to try these. I don't know about you, Geoff.
Oh, yeah.
So stay tuned. We'll be back when they're ready to come out of the pan. They're almost ready. They smell amazing. So what we're going to do next is we are going to do up a little aioli. And aioli and mayonnaise are pretty similar, only an aioli is traditionally made with an olive oil. So we have our homemade mayo here that you can get the recipe on eastcoastketo.com. And very easy to make. And in our little container here, we have 1/8 teaspoon of thyme and 1/8 teaspoon of garlic, just to do up a little bit of garlic aioli. And let me get that out of there. There we go. Okay. And you can stir that around while I check our fish cakes and see how they are doing. Oh, they look lovely. How does that look?
Deadly.
You want to test and see? My fingers are clean. Let me go in and check. Absolutely delightful. So again, you can increase or decrease the flavors in this. We like a little bit of extra flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera here now, and I'm going to get into, this is our Korean chili. And I'm going to add 1, maybe 2 pinches of that in there, just because we like it a bit of extra spice. And I know he definitely does, so that's going to take care of that for you. Perfect. And while you're doing that, I am going to take out a fish cake for us, turn that off, put that aside, and let's go back in with our spoon here. We'll put a little bit of that on the side there. There you go. We'll even do it a little artistic.
The smear.
Smear. There you go. Alrighty. So you be the guinea pig and tell us how our fish cakes taste. Don't burn your mouth.
Burn them out right off. All right. So a little bit of this, and a little bit of that.
Alright. I like fish cakes, but my favorite, I think, would be the meat cakes, because I remember when I was little, growing up with the meat cakes and with the corned beef. You run back in again, you're going to leave me?
I want some more of this.
Oh my God.
It's freaking amazing.
Oh.
The savory, it's like the Christmas dinner dressing rolled up in a fish cake.
In a fish cake? 2 thumbs up?
If I had more.
So that's it. That's your Newfoundland fish cakes. You can serve it with anything. Our favorite way to have this is to use the fish cakes as a base for eggs benny. We'll do our fish cakes, then we'll do our eggs benny right on top of that. And that is our ultimate favorite way to have it, but they are just delicious on their own. You can have them for breakfast, you can have them for supper, and they're great for guests. So I'm gonna let you say goodbye to everyone while I have one more taste of this.
Try them. They're absolutely incredible.
No. Thanks for tuning in, and come back and see us in our next video.
Bye, folks.
Bye.